Welcome to Geek Nerd Tech. We're talking Winter Olympics. The Pixel is selling out, and oh my goodness, y'all, drum roll. Black Panther, let's go get it.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live's Geek Nerd Tech.
Yeah.
Geniuses with conviction. King of the
Yeah.
king of the fathers, king of the king of the answers,
Kendrick.
king of the problem, king of the forsaken, king of
Yeah.
Where's this come from?
Welcome to Black Hollywood Live. This is Geek Nerd Tech. Today is a special day. We are covering a whole bunch of dope topics, but most importantly, it's Black Panther Week. I got my man Ryan Hollins back in the place to be. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, bro. Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, man. What you been up to?
I've been grinding out, bro.
Grinding out,
I've
huh?
been getting my Achilles shine on.
Okay.
Been hitting the airways, been hitting the TV. It's just working, man, in the lab. And I feel like for me, now that basketball's over, it's time to bet on myself, man. You know those moments where you just bet, you break away from the norm and you just have faith and belief in everything that you've been doing, and you know you're talented, but you had a fear of failure, man. It's time to let go, man.
Hey, it's not about being fearful of failure. It's about failing forward. You know what I'm saying? Your failures are your fortunes, as I would say. So that's good that you're embracing yourself
Absolutely.
and running with it, man, because
Yeah.
you got a talent, man. You got a talent with the broadcasting thing. Well, I'm glad to have you on the show. We got a lot to cover today, so let's get right into it. The first thing we got going on is how will technology transform the Winter Olympics in South Korea? This is an amazing story because a lot of what's happening with the Olympics technologically is fantastic. I don't know if you caught game, but we all know that the Super Bowl is probably one of the biggest sporting events, you know, in the United States, really in the world. But the Olympics, the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics come like a close second. And what's really dope about these main stages, these huge platforms, because everyone's tuning in, is the technology that they drop during this time. And so you're able to see like literally the newest connectivity and digital media on a global stage. And so South Korea has really embraced this, and one of the biggest things that they've done is really opening up the virtual reality space. So a lot of set up like tons of 360-degree cameras in the stadium so that people can have like a real immersive experience while they watch the sporting event. So my question to you is, my man, I mean, we've always talked about this, especially even with the NBA, but do you see this more as a norm, more trending as a normative thing, or do you think this is kind of like just a gimmick?
No, man, this is going to be the norm. And the one thing I and a lot of other athletes and even weekend warrior, we watch the Winter Olympics and go, I can do that.
Right.
What's so hard about that? It's just a hobby. That dude just has time on his hands. But you talk about the tech side of it, and the Winter Olympics are truly visually stunning.
Yeah, they are.
From the skating to the luge to the bobsled. Everything about it you watch, and it's captivating. Like it's art, and they call it a sport, but in my mind I see more of a skill. You have a 16, 17-year-old kid winning a gold medal, a couple ladies stepping up and representing, but it's just visually stunning. And when you bring technology into that field, you get a chance to get in with the skier. You get in, you get on that track with the luge or the bobsled. You get in there and you see every single skill that I'm going to call it as a ball player. I'm going to call it a skill right now.
Okay.
Forgive me if I'm offending anybody. But it's visual, like the skating. Like I could just watch. There's something about the motion in skating. I could literally watch it all day long,
100%.
and it captivates you. And like technology brings a whole nother element to that. So when I get excited just knowing the breakdown. How fast is he going? How high is he going?
It's very exciting.
Right? And I'm in there with you.
Exactly. And that's the thing with the whole virtual reality is that, like I said, it's immersive. Like you're literally like on the ice. You're on the snow. You're on the mountain. You're on the ski lift. But not only virtual reality, but I believe that this is one of the first Olympics where they're shooting exclusively in 4K, which is pretty cool for all of you out there that have 4K televisions. But you're getting, the hyper quality in terms of the clarity of the imagery, the saturation, the vibrancy of the imagery. But the biggest thing that was crazy to me was the security technology that they've invested into protecting the athletes and the fan goers at the Olympics. Obviously, we're right by a demilitarized zone between North and South Korea.
Man.
And so they're trying to, obviously prevent any acts of terrorism or violence. But the level of technology they have is incredible, from drone technology with radar networks to like thermal imaging in vehicles where they're able to detect like chemical warfare. Like it's like on a whole nother page.
Is this almost like, is it safe to say that I feel like, man, I'm gonna go real deep on this. When you watch the movies, I almost wonder, has this been a forewarning to the technology that we will see? And almost like, kind of like, let me numb you a little bit before we blow you away and say, yo, like this technology has been possible, that we can see your names, your movement, your identification, and track it from a destination and plug that into an algorithm that knows who you are, what you talk like, what's on your mind through your cell phone, through your credit cards, through your face being scanned through a drone or camera that you don't even see. And it's almost like, well, you get numb to it, right? Or I see that in a movie.
It becomes normal. It becomes every day,
right? And you don't know what's real or what's fake, right?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say me personally, but I can see the point that you're making.
Would it be safe to say, Killy, that you may not know all of what technology is out there? And I don't think you're a cat that would assume that things aren't certainly possible.
There are things that are probably being developed right now that would completely blow my mind. That would be like, yo, this, I wouldn't have envisioned this in my lifetime, not alone like 2018, right?
I'm just saying, I think they're in play right now.
Of course they are. One of the things that I thought was dope, and I want to ask you because you are, an athlete, but they have the technology that they are developing, they have developed for the athletes in the Winter Olympics, these heated uniforms where it's made out of this flexible, conductive ink where it keeps the athlete warm. Like, and not just that, it also it's like water repellent, so it could give you 11 hours of heating. So if you sweat, you're not gonna freeze. Like, that's crazy, right? Like, I mean, have you ever experienced anything like that? Being a professional basketball player where the technology was implemented in your uniform.
Absolutely. Adidas had made a real push to have like these performance leggings, tights, undergarments, and tank tops where they would have kind of like a strip that would support your body or your muscles in a certain area. I think that it kind of has gone away, but I remember, if you ever watched Dwight Howard to kind of warm up on the court, and there were like these silver strips across, so it's supposed to enhance maybe breathing or whatever it may be. I just came from working out right now. You made a joke about my hair earlier. It's all good, but you see, I'm wearing tights. And a lot of guys, you go,
you wear tights even when you're not working out, but it's all good.
Stop it. They go, oh man, that's so trendy. That's so this. Nah, man, I'm an old man. So when I wear something on the court is to help myself perform better. And what the tights do is similar to what you said, is they keep you warm during the game. You feel secure. And for a guy who may have a muscle stiffness or knee aches, my knees don't get cold during the game, or if I sweat, it necessarily stays in. So that's just another cool feature. So like what you said, obviously, I don't know if it's to the effect of what you talked about.
But I mean, it's there.
Yes.
It's there. Man, well, I think that's fantastic. And that's one thing that I personally love about like the sport, is that, or just sport period, is that you're able to integrate a lot of different art forms, from like fashion to even like now technology, and so like how all these things kind of play in concert with each other. I think it's phenomenal. But I love seeing it. I'm obviously a tech head. Love seeing it from the visual representation to the security measures that are in place, to social media, to even the wearables that the athletes are using to get into the Olympic Village, to pay for food. All that stuff is just mind-blowing to me. I think it's, like you said, it's going to be more adopted into the general public, but we kind of see that advancement with, events like this or with athletes. So I think it's pretty cool. So let's switch gears real quick. Speaking of the Olympics, and speaking of technology, man, the actual opening ceremony that happened last Friday was hacked. Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Man, so
I did
yeah.
not. That's huge.
Dog. And like we talk about, me and you all the time offline about, just how sophisticated, these cyber hackers can be, and just what you can do to like really decimate like industries. And so this is an example of when, hey, a hacking group was like, you know what, we're going to send a message, a political message to the world. And by doing this, we're going to prevent either lights coming on or prevent certain things happening with your infrastructure, with your computer management systems. We're going to shut it down to prove a point, and we could actually destroy it, but we're only going to do a little bit just to prove a point. What do you think about that?
I think there's a movie like that. I forget. And they went in and I believe like they robbed the bank, and like nobody got shot, nobody got killed. It was just a message that was sent. It was kind of terrifying that at the end of the day, these weren't the bad guys. They were really the good guys. And like I almost sit back and wonder, man, like right now, like Akili, let me ask you, like food for thought, dude, like what would be worse, a group of terrorists that were going and shooting and killing, or cyber terrorists that could literally crash our infrastructure, our banking system, our electronic records? Like what's more scary at that point?
That's an easy answer. I mean, any type of physical violence always will take the cake. I want to be able to protect my kids. And so if there's someone that's going to come in and shoot up the place, that's always going to have me on red alert versus someone that might steal my money.
Well, in this day and age, you have Teslas, you have all these cars are electronically connected.
Yeah.
So you don't know that these terrorists could not take control of the car. Like
exactly.
I said, you see it in a movie, so
Of
it's
course.
like, obviously, physically, my first answer would jump in with yours, like, heck no, I don't want somebody coming and shooting. We don't have a chance. But let's say you're on an elevator, technology bugs out or something, like the way we're going, that technology could potentially be significantly worse.
Weaponized.
An airplane,
Weaponized, 100%.
Airplane going down.
Any form of technology that could be used to aid or cure or heal can also be used very destructively to injure, to maim, to kill. So I feel like that speaks to our dependency of the technology, and we're in a zeitgeist. We're in a generation where we are literally connected to our devices like it was a piece of our flesh. And
Yes.
so I think that dependency allows for that type of destructiveness and injury. So we have to be cautious of that. But
You been watching Black Mirror?
man, do we have to do this again?
You've been very busy.
Do we have to do this again?
I don't know if you have time to watch.
I'm the one that put
I
you
don't
up
know
on
if you've
game.
been watching, had time to watch TV.
Okay, brother. I have not actually.
Okay,
But I have seen
there's
Black Mirror.
The next season, though,
Yeah.
the latest.
Yes.
So you found time within not having time to watch it.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man.
You put
Hey,
me
man.
on it.
Hey, man. Hey,
I'm
man.
not fighting it.
Hey, man. Thank you. Well, anyway, I also put you on getting iPhone, so you was on that Samsung. I can't even
Stop
do it.
it.
I can't even do it. Anyway, I'm gonna switch gears to the iPhone. What do you think about this price point coming down? So what Apple is saying next year, around their release time in the fall, they're going to reduce the price of the iPhone 10 from $1,000 to $700. Is that news to you?
Shouldn't there be a new iPhone by that time?
Right,
Not
exactly.
the same iPhone cheaper.
No, I'm sure there will be a new iPhone, but they'll probably have this one as at a lower rate.
That tells me that this iPhone is bombing. That you have to announce that, hey, wait till next year. Let's get some pre-sale orders at a cheaper rate. It definitely didn't have the print that the other iPhones have had. Samsung is not Apple. They don't have the same system, but it is a better phone. Let's not fool ourselves. It's just we're addicted to that iCloud and the connection as my phone goes off in timing, telling me to get to the show. Maybe that's why I was late last time. But nonetheless, you don't want to leave Apple. But I don't know too many cats who went out and got the 10.
I don't either.
And I'm normally right,
We're
like
right,
we're in
both
line.
of us, yeah, we're right
Yeah.
there trying to get the new stuff. Like, it didn't pick the interest at all.
No.
Okay.
So the screen is like kind of like rolls over kind of the idea that Samsung
Oh,
already had. So you get to have an Apple Samsung. That's what they told you.
No, that's out of control. Well, anyway, I know we're both kind of Apple apologists. We all have, I mean, you have a Apple Watch, you got 2 iPhones, you got the whole Apple computer at the house.
I'm in.
Like,
That is the system.
you got the CarPlay too, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. Yes.
So, I mean, everything you got is Apple, but hey, we'll see if they're gonna drop something really dope, in the fall. We'll see. I am not I'm not gonna big it up too heavy because I don't foresee it. But hey, we'll see. The jury is out. The jury is out.
Let me ask, because we both haven't gone over, and I'm sure maybe you thought about it. What would Samsung have to do to get us on board? Like, what would they have to innovate with? Because obviously the camera's better. Like, if I take a picture at night and a Samsung takes a picture at night, I'm like,
I think
you take the picture.
I think it's the ecosystem, right? Because we always make fun of people that have the green bubble, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like we want to be able to have, all of our products be able to be shared and linked. And so that's the thing that Apple provides. Is like, hey, I could be working on the email on my phone and then hops on my laptop and the email's right there.
Yeah.
Or I could be browsing on the internet and boom, it's in my browser on the phone.
Yes.
Like Samsung ain't really giving us that. So if I have a Samsung phone but I got the Mac laptop, I have to literally,
Switch between both.
exactly. So I think if they could figure that out, which I don't know how they would do, because Apple has marketed themselves to be a luxury company, right?
Yeah.
So these are luxury products. Like these are high-end products. Like you don't have that mystique and that type of feel with Samsung.
It's funny you say that because with a big point of me going over, because I was like, all PC or nothing. Those Macs don't do anything. They're just all display. When I went over, it was like they don't have viruses, and it was like they last.
Exactly.
Because I was literally, you'd get a PC, they'd sell you the software. And I swear that software was putting more viruses on your thing, and then you had to buy a bigger Norton package or whatever package to essentially.
Hustle, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just got tired of the hustle because I was like, I'd rather pay more for this Apple than to have to be repairing my Samsung every 5 minutes.
Hey, exactly. I completely can relate to that.
PC
and feel
on me.
you. But yeah, man, this is a really interesting story that came across my desk, man. YouTube, right, is adding more channels, but it's also getting more expensive. So your YouTube TV, which is a streaming service, is expanding its programming and is going to add the Turner Network. And that includes TBS, TNT, CNN, Adult Swim, Cartoon Network, True TV, and Turner Classic Movies. And so they're being added to everything else that you have on there. You'll also be able to get NBA All Access and MLB TV, but they are moving the price point from $35 a month to $40 a month. And so that this is going to compete with Hulu, which is around $40, and I believe I think it's DirecTV that also has a price tag of $40. So being that you are a guy that's really not cable dependent, you've cut the cord, and you pretty much, you have your Fire Stick, you have your Apple TV, you got your whole setup at the crib, right?
Yeah.
So do you think this is I don't know if you're a YouTube guy, if you subscribe to that platform, but do you think that they can compete in the ecosystem at $40 a month?
My Netflix is $10 a month. About like $10.99.
Okay.
I think $14.99 with the Ultra HD.
the
if I'm not
4K?
mistaken.
Yep,
Yeah, with
exactly.
the 4K. You got to give me that price point for me to go over.
What do you mean?
Otherwise, I'm just paying for cable. I'm not buying YouTube TV at $40 a month. I don't, unless if I have to, and I'm not watching those channels anyways. I get it. I can watch them.
No NBA TV? No sports?
No, I can. I'd rather have cable. No, I do. I'm trimming down. I'm not all the way off.
Okay.
But I have the most basic package of cable because I want to get my ESPN. I want to get my sports. It's much like the movie theater. I got to go and see my action film in the movie theaters. Everything else, I don't mind waiting to watch. So if you're YouTube,
okay,
you got to give me a no-brainer price point because you are online. And I understand they got to make their money and they got to pay those advertisers and to actually have that content. But I'm not paying for it, dude. Not at 40.
So this doesn't interest you. So having a cloud DVR where you have unlimited storage. So obviously when you had a cable subscription, you had your top box that gave you 5 gigabytes worth of space or whatever it was, right? So this is unlimited. You could store anything you want.
I don't care.
That doesn't matter.
I don't care. I'm not paying $40 a month, dude.
And you get to have 6 individual users per account.
I don't care.
Why
Why are you limiting my users? I'm not paying $40 a month.
All right. Well, hey, you heard it there first. I agree with Ryan Hollins. I don't believe I would partake in this either. I don't think the value was there. Maybe when they get Viacom and other additional networks to be a part of the bundle, it might be more attractive. But 40 is pretty steep, especially when you have cats like Sling TV that has $20 as their price point. I mean, really, you don't need it. Like you said, Netflix is $10. You got all of it right there. You know what I'm saying? You got to come with something a little hotter than that, bruh.
And I mean, Netflix is killing the game right now, and they're giving you that there may still be a $4.99 option, a $10.99 option, a $7.99, and a $14.99, but those are reasonable. But they realize I can get everybody at $10.
Hey,
I can get
10 for the win.
everybody for the 10
for the win.
instead of 30 or 40% of you at $40 a pop. And I understand that, and obviously, I mean, I can really entertain myself on Instagram, on YouTube without paying for some TV package right now. And I think that's just, there's going to have to be a new way that we go about advertising, because what you're paying for is YouTube is realizing, trying to get in the TV and communications field, is that advertising costs, those rights to those TV shows cost. So something is going to have to bend.
Offset,
Something's going to have to change here.
That's right. Hey, well, like I said, you heard it there first from Ryan Hollins himself. Let me run this by you. So I don't know if you're familiar with YouTube star Logan Paul. Have you heard of him before? So he does a lot of like funny videos on YouTube. Sometimes they're like music centric. They're like sketchy and very comical in nature. But he got under some really hot fire when he took a trip to Japan, and he actually posted a video of a person who had committed suicide, and it caused an enormous controversy. And so a lot of people are advocating for YouTube to essentially kick him off the platform. And so YouTube is saying, well, we have a, kind of like our terms and conditions, rules and regulations, that if you violate, our terms and conditions 3 times, then we'll kick you off. And he hasn't really violated the terms. What do you think about this? Do you think that he should be kicked off by doing something so insensitive, or do you think that YouTube is right in supporting him and standing up for him, saying that he can still be a part of the content creating community?
Give me more. What did he actually capture? Them killing themselves?
No, he posted a video of someone who actually committed suicide. It was a dead body, and he posted the video, but it wasn't like he wasn't like giving reverence to what had happened. It was more like making fun of it almost. And so it was very insensitive. It was very disrespectful. It was insensitive. And so for that reason, he got a lot of criticism, a lot of flack. And so people were like, nah, off you. Like, I'm not trying to support a person that would do some stupid shit like that.
Something so callous.
Exactly. So the question is, like, as a platform, should YouTube like still stand by him because he didn't technically break the terms and conditions, or should they be more punitive? And if your answer is they should be more punitive, how do they regulate case by case instances?
Unfortunately, they have to stick to their terms and conditions, or they're going to have a fat little lawsuit from this guy on their hands. And I would recommend to the people not to go at YouTube, obviously, because they do have to follow those terms and conditions. But to stop subscribing to this guy, stop giving him attention, stop getting him on air, stop watching, man. Because if he can't value human life, and I understand you're almost angry at somebody for committing suicide, because it's the ultimate cowardly act. If you can logic in your head to do that, it's a really tough deal rather than facing with the world. And I understand some people have mental illness and they really can't see any other way out. And I don't want to speak insensitively on anyone's behalf, but that's definitely not the way to go. It's selfish to your friends and family and loved ones around you. But I would say for the people to band together and have a movement, man, to say just don't unsubscribe from this guy. Don't follow what he has to say. Don't argue with him, and essentially he'll go away. But that's a very insensitive move. But unfortunately, YouTube right now is handcuffed, and they would end up losing a whole lot more by taking this guy off. And the people power other people, and that's really what YouTube is built on. As long as there's no child injustices or illegal acts necessarily going on.
Hey, that's what's up, man. Great take. I love that take. That was awesome. So yeah, we just shifted gears from talking about the iPhone, right? And I know we've kind of had our little jokes about other phones and devices. But what was your stand on the Google Pixel? Were you out on that, or were you like, yo, I might consider getting that?
No, I can't, man. It's too tough because I would essentially be leaving the bubble, my nice little comfortable blue iMessages, and a phone is gonna have to like blow me away. Like it's gonna have to like control my car, watch the kids, give me a back massage. Like I'm gonna have to have a lot to break out of this little comfortable bubble where all my friends and family are on it. and I'm comfortable, and I look down upon those who give me the little green text messages back and don't see my emojis pop through that aren't iPhone users. So I understand another phone might be good, great, cool. The camera quality is somewhere, but it's not enough to take me away. So, I mean, just cell phone wise, like I feel like this is a real depressing cell phone talk. Like give us some creativity, some innovation, right? We just haven't had it, and yet we're stuck with these Apple products as a way of life right now.
Hey, I completely agree with you. However, I am, and I've said this many times before, I believe the Google Pixel one day, it'll take a few years, but one day will be a very hot product, a very hot commodity. And I mean, when you look at the whole global smartphone market, you know, per year, we're selling about 1 billion units. So the Google Pixel only shipped 3.9 million in 2017. So they are like literally a drop in the bucket in terms of the whole market pie.
Yeah.
But every year since they've dropped, they've been on an increase. And small incremental increase, but hey, they are growing.
You want me to drop a dime?
My question to you, go ahead,
Okay.
drop a dime. But my question to you is, do you think that 10 years from now, like we might be having a conversation about, man, you got the whack iPhone? You think that's even a possibility?
Very
I
much
got
so.
the Pixel.
Hey man, we said earlier Mac was like, it was a joke, like those big old bubble all-in-one computers, they were jokes, and then they just went so far ahead with Steve Jobs from a audio visual level for people who like to create content and look at content like yourself and I, and said, yo, I have to look at it on this Mac screen. I have to consume my content here, especially if I'm developing and creating content, and it's easy to do. And to that same note, I did an internship at Google this last summer, and I'm up there and we're messing around like, hey, get rid of that iPhone, blah blah blah. And a couple of the people who actually work at Google, yeah, they have their little Google phone, and on the side they pull their iPhone out their pockets, you know. So it's not there yet. I will tell you one thing from visiting Google is that Google is like, they're on some like trying to take over the world type stuff, dude. So like, I mean, from obviously they put out the self-driving car to the VR, and they are on the heels of technology where they could loop in all of these platforms, and they get it, and they're customer friendly, and they're realistic to the things that they're seeing and hearing, and they're like, well, we may not have the better phone, but we're gonna make apps that Apple has on their platform, and we use these Google apps and platforms. So they're slowly but surely almost infiltrating the iPhone system like a virus. Now imagine they make all those programs must-haves. They make them compatible, and then you got to go over to that Google Pixel or phone when the time is potentially right.
Okay, all right, brother. Wait, man, I didn't get no Google invite. What's up with that?
You
Anyway.
absolutely did.
Anyway, I did not.
You absolutely did.
It's cool, though.
And we can go back.
It's cool, bro.
Don't
I got my
play me
own
like
Google
that.
Connects, son. I got my own Google
Wow.
Connects. Anywho,
You gonna play me like that?
Speaking
you gonna
of-
play me like that?
speaking
I didn't
of
tell you.
Silicon Valley
Oh my gosh.
Facebook.
I told him.
is bringing its Messenger Kids chat app to Android devices actually today. So I covered this story a few weeks ago about a lot of activists who were really strongly opposed to the Messenger Kids app because they felt that it was destructive to their cognitive development, and that giving kids between the ages of 6 and 12 a platform where they could actually like instant message kids was not socially, culturally a good thing for parents to allow their kids to do. So they still want to, Facebook still, said, no, this is good because we've talked to psychologists, we talked to family counselors about this, and this could actually be something that could be very educational if used properly. And so they have now brought it to the Android world today. And my question to you is, I mean, obviously you're a family man, you're a father, you have kids. Like, how do you, in this tech-dependent landscape that we live in, where kids come almost knowing about technology before they even have words, how do you dictate when they can use technology, what technologies they can use? And to that point, do you think you would let Chris or you would let Eve use something like this?
I understand the dependency that kids have on those iPhones, and because there's in tablets, because they're simple, you give it to them, they're hooked. For the parent, it's like, oh, cool, I got a free 5 hours. That's the babysitter. But ultimately, I try my best to shelter my kids from any iPhone, any tablet. I try to monitor the usage because I want my kids to be kids. I want them to go out and play in the dirt and feel the dirt in their hands. I want them to go out and swim in the swimming pool. I want them to run across the street and up and down and throw the ball in the driveway and still be kids. And if you create and you lock these kids into a world, you really, really, in my mind, hinder them from actually being
That's
kids.
right.
I remember
That's right.
swinging from the kids, from the trees at Keeley, running the grass, and we're
You
still
were
tech
swinging
nerds.
from the trees.
I was swinging from the trees like Tarzan. Yeah, all through the backyard, through the bamboo bushes, through the oak trees, through the palm trees, climbing up them, just experiencing nature and life. And I don't want these kids to have that taken away from them. And I have as a father, I have a real social issue with Facebook and Instagram. And I posed this to them when I went up there, and they didn't want to hear it. And I said, the analytics that you guys have on the system, you guys know that you break up a lot of relationships. You break up a lot of marriages. And I believe, man, that just my point of view, man, Satan is going to put those temptations in your face and your eyes. And for a married man, you pull up your phone and you see a half-naked girl and you don't pay too much mind to it, but that pops up into your phone and your presence every single day for the next 3 months as I'm trying to look up a basketball game or a statement or a really cool article that I'm interested in, and they put that in your subliminal. And just that enough in that subliminal can break down somebody, and it's torn down families. Does Instagram care about that? Have they offered a better system to filter through those things? No, they haven't. They're all about making money. And obviously, it's to someone's own responsibility to use their platform the right way. But I believe that they have a responsibility of having a better filtration system and not just an analytics that your buddy's looking at that, so you got to see it. That's not cool to me. So what's the difference between my children being exposed to certain things? And I get it. This may be in their mind a safe platform, but what do you ultimately become? If I'm watching Nick Jr., I'm going to grow up and watch Nickelodeon. If I watch Disney Jr. growing up, I'm going to go and be a Marvel fan, a full-on fan, or whatever. So you're just giving them this technology at a young age, and now they're hooked into the Facebook. I want big Facebook, mommy and daddy. Why can't I have the Facebook you have?
I think you've hit upon a good point, and I think, again, is even with anything that is any type of media that is consumable, be it music, film, television, be it social media, like it comes with responsibility. It comes with a sense of kind of like how, and especially when we're talking about children, like you want to be able to curate their experience, curate what they are digesting, because cognitively, like I said earlier, like they're very impressionable. Kids are sponges, and kids don't have the necessary social tools to be able to discern what is correct and what is incorrect. And so you have to be able to allow them the space to have a creative platform to be able to foster their imagination, but you also have to be very careful so that it doesn't, like you said, ruin it or plant a seed of destruction. So I think that I think it's really up to the parents' responsibility, because, like you said, the device should not be a substitute for your parenting.
No.
It should be a learning resource, just like a book would, just like an experience would.
Yes.
But you should be monitoring. You should be engaged with that child as they are using it, not like, hey, go play with that, I'll see you later. No,
Yeah.
like we are doing this together, right? And so that I can see that you have an understanding, and we have an understanding.
Yes.
So
I got something, and I also posed an idea to them too, and I said, as a father, if you gave me complete control over my filters, or if you gave me a family-friendly filter in which I can create an Instagram account for my children comfortably, in which they don't see any comments, where they could follow a Disney or a National Geographic, and all that they were able to see was the photos. And they didn't want to see that. They didn't want to hear that, because they know when you limit the exposure, you limit the other things that they can see or they can follow, or I would have to allow or essentially verify what my child was able to see. I don't want my child to see comments and be thumbing through, even on the most positive pages, what someone can say. And they weren't really privy to that idea. They want to create a world in which you get lost in and not understand it. So you substitute morality for those dollars. And yes, it may not be on a big scale, but like me and you know what those analytics are. You guys know what's happening. You see people dropping off the map or dropping off of your platforms, or as a couple, you see two people clashing back and forth or a series of direct messages?
Well, I wouldn't give that all the way to the social media platform. I believe there was a couple that had some issues because of someone's engagement on the platform. They had issues before that. There's deeper issues, but I don't want to get into all that.
Well, can I ask you something then?
Go ahead.
If it's you and your buddy,
Yeah.
or we'll pose not you, we'll goes a couple here, right? There's two couples here, husband and wife, and you're the friend that you have this friend on the side, and he's mutual between both parties. But every time the husband hangs around with his friends within that association, he throws a couple negative seeds in the husband's way. So what the husband should essentially do, disassociate from that friend, because he could be the seed that breaks those two up that could already be having a problem.
He could be.
So does the friend have no responsibility or morality or value to what that couple's relationship is?
Well, see, in your example, the friend being the social media platform, like, I believe the way that it's set up, it's not that it's siphoning content for you based on what your friends have looked at. It's distributing the content. The algorithm is based on what you've looked at. So if you want to look at the naked girl or whatever, it's because you searched for a model. And so because of that algorithm is now a part of what
they
you
also
see.
know you're
So
promoted,
what I'm
you're
saying
promoted
is,
to a male, but between a certain ages
Of course,
and
they
limits,
have- they have-
they're gonna put that in your forefront.
Yeah, but there's 100. They could put forth motorcycles. They could put forth football. They could
They
put forth
could.
anything. The fact is that they have monitored your usage, and the fact that you probably looked at not just one model, you probably looked at a few of them, and so they're going to attribute that to, okay, well, he's interested in this space, so the algorithm is going to be more nuanced to that space, so you get to see more models. I believe that it's not the platform's responsibility.
can't you have
It's
control
not
over
the-
that?
It's not the plat. Well,
It's essentially pushed to you.
You do have control over it. Stop looking at models.
I don't. You're essentially talking to me. I don't. And every other thing I see that pops up, I don't.
All right. Well, we gonna switch gears.
We had that, and I had that conversation.
We gonna switch
and
gears.
I bring it
We
here
gonna
because
switch
I had
gears.
that conversation at Facebook. I had that
Okay.
conversation with them there.
Well, we're going to cover this next story, which is more something that you probably have experienced, or we've talked about also, about the NBA bringing virtual reality to the sport. And so this company called Magic Leap has actually partnered with the NBA to create digital basketball games that people can watch through putting on its goggles. And so you're literally able to experience a basketball game like you were on the court. And so Shaq has actually said that this is pretty phenomenal technology. There was a video of him, wearing the Magic Leap glasses, and he said that the product was just incredible. He said he was able to see LeBron right in front of him, and then he saw an Orlando Magic and a Los Angeles Laker game, and he said it was phenomenal. So my question to you is, this company, Magic Leap, has raised about $1.9 billion. Do you think that this is the device that's going to be the game changer for the league?
This is the race. This is the race, like the arms race. Remember the code, the first to make it to space. Okay?
First to make it to the moon.
First with the nuclear weapon.
Right.
Now virtual reality. There's this virtual reality race to how can you watch a game. And the big hurdle right now, some more Facebook knowledge, is that before we go further, that you don't get the nausea related with wearing the goggles. And that's the toughest thing, because it's you essentially get a form of vertigo, and it throws your brain off, or you start to get a headache after about 15 or 20, if not sooner, minutes.
Yeah, remember we went to E3, I think it was last year. I don't know what product it was. It was the roller coaster.
2 or
one.
3 of them.
Dog, we
got
almost
on.
threw up afterwards.
Yes,
it's crazy.
So that's really the hurdle. I think Facebook bought Oculus, right?
Yes.
They own Oculus now.
correct.
That's their hurdle with saying we're not going to release this product. That's not going to be a home run. And I talked to the commissioner at the NBA, and there's a lot of work within these virtual reality goggles and being able to watch a game and interact with your favorite athlete, or actually play him one-on-one, or see what it's like in a interaction that I'm excited to see. But that's such a crazy hurdle. Like, you'd almost have to, I guess, numb your mind up, or numb yourself up, or almost like you get into this world and you come out, take out the glasses, go use the bathroom, you're going to fall over if you've done it for too long. So I'm not quite sure what the answer is, Akili, but once that problem is solved,
It's game over, huh?
it's game over. Like, dude, like I imagine like watching an action film, an X-Men movie, where you're in there watching Wolverine fight against Magneto or something crazy, and they're jumping all around, and you're within that scene, or watching a horror film where it scares the life out of you because the guy essentially comes up behind you on your neck, and hearing that vibration or gust of air. Or I'm sure you've done it before, and you felt a missile or something come by, and I was like, yo, why do I feel warm? Why do I feel hot? And it triggers things in your mind. Your brain just says, wait, warning, warning, get out. This feels real to you, right?
Exactly. My thing is like, I mean, it's again, I think I said this earlier, with every form of technology, there is a positive, constructive use, but there's also the inverse of that, which could be a destructive. It could have destructive qualities, and so like I fear that people could be so immersed in these worlds because they're so true to form that they either they become unproductive, or it could actually do some like psychological damage to them. So I think it's just finding the balance between that, but then also with the virtual reality, you're able to apply that like in the educational field where, hey, if I'm a doctor or I'm a surgeon, before I perform open heart surgery on a real person, I could do it in this virtual reality space and learn and actually go inside of a heart. So it's like, how do you find the balance between something that could lead you in the wrong direction because like you're seeing crazy imagery that's making you like tweak out, or something that could actually help prevent the next person from passing away because of a heart condition. So interesting to see what the NBA does with this. I believe that the NBA is probably the most innovative of all the sports as they are with social media and technology. So I think that they'll be the first to bring it to like true market, you know what I'm saying? Being able to have like a sporting experience that is like literally like you're at the game. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yo, so let's get into some popular culture stuff, some geek stuff. Were you a big fan of Jordan Peele's Get Out, the movie Get Out?
Oh my gosh, was
Run
I?
it.
Man, I loved it because you watched the film, you had one thing in your mind. You watch the teaser and they essentially tell you what it's about. And you think you got it all figured out. And you watch and it gives you so much more in the movie. And then you got to come back and watch it two or three more times to get the depth of what's going on and the message. And there's a couple, like there's three verticals of the value there. You see the original storyline that you see. Then you see the comedic element, the one that's just right in front of your face, the funny friend.
The easy thing to grasp.
Yeah, the easy thing to grasp. And then this deeper message of our society and saying, whoa, what is going on here? And I love that. It was like a white-black thing, but I don't care what race, color, or creed you were, you saw and understood this deeper message that was going on and Get Out.
So how long have you been in the sunken place, brother?
Wow.
Anywho,
Wow.
Yo, so the movie came out last year on February 24th, and as we all know, it made over $100 million. But guess what, my man? We should definitely go. It's coming back out on Monday, February 19th, at all AMC theaters, and it's going to be free.
Really?
Exactly. You can go see the movie on February 19th for free at all AMC theaters this President's Day. I think that's pretty cool. Never really seen anything like that before.
That's super dope.
Exactly. Okay. Have you heard about Apple developing a drama series based on Keven Durant's life? That sounds pretty cool, right?
Drama series.
Yeah, they're developing a TV drama called Swagger, and it's basically about Kevin Durant's childhood, and it's going to explore the world of the AAU, which I know you're familiar with, and basketball players, the lives of the players, the families, and the coaches. And it's actually going to be directed by my man, Reggie Rock Blythewood, who directed and wrote Notorious B.I.G., Notorious, the movie. And he also wrote and directed the Fox TV series Shots Fired. I think this could be pretty dope. What do you think?
Man, that's huge. And I love that NBA athletes, their popularity is growing. And this Kevin Durant is setting the stage where he can reach out and take people into his life, a personal touch, and see essentially what it was like for him being Kevin Durant. Everybody just assumes like, oh, it's so easy, man. You guys just go out there, make free throws, just win the game. You guys suck. Everybody has these opinions, but you're going to really see what that hard work looks like. I always say, and you know this, but behind a lot of success, there's a lot of pain, man. Like there's a lot of pain behind success, behind people that make it, guys that make it in the NBA. And there's a lot of hurt. And as a child, when you can take that pain and hurt, unfortunately at a young age, and you siphon that in a positive place, and you create an energy on a basketball court in which you become a NBA All-Star, which you just make it to the NBA. There's nothing like that, man. That's just so amazing to me. And I think bringing that experience to the people at home who can see that and understand it, and more importantly to the children, to where they'll have a deeper respect for a Kevin Garnett or another NBA or NFL or another professional athlete, to see what this guy has actually gone through and come into the psyche before you just get up to judge it. That guy shouldn't have said that, or he should have said this, or he should have made his free throws, and you don't know what's going on in his life. All you see is the money.
Hey, I mean, you can't judge a book by its cover. We all know that. And every person has their own walk in life, right? Everyone has to go through their own trials and tribulations. And I think, testament to a lot of, athletes, especially, African American athletes and entertainers, that we've been able to figure out a way to turn our woes into wows, to take a bad situation of how we were raised or the environment we were raised in and make something positive out of it.
Yeah.
So people might trivialize all the hard work and effort that went into what your success is, but at the end of the day, as long as you know in your heart and in your mind that your energy and effort is put in a great place, you harness that God gift, and you did something, you made something out of life and inspired other people. That's what it's all about. And the fact that now, like, he can have a director write something about his childhood that will then again inspire other people, I think is phenomenal. But thinking about inspiration, baby, Black Panther, what's up, man? You going?
I'm ready, bro.
All right.
I'm beyond ready. I'm pleasantly surprised, man, that there's such a welcoming and a movement.
Let's go.
Because I was like, me and you, we're already all in with Marvel, and I was just ecstatic to see this story unfold. Not only is it just, even if this was White Panther, I'd go to see it's a dope movie, but it's Black Panther. There's so many people behind this film and this theater. Like, dude, like, I didn't expect this. This is like I didn't expect such a welcoming through Hollywood and the world about this, and I was excited I was just geeked to like, this is geek time, you know what I'm saying? But just the support, dude. Like, maybe you're telling me something different. I didn't know the support would be there like that.
I know.
To me, it's icing on the cake, brother. And I am excited to go and see this. And like I said, dude, if this was White Panther, I'm excited to see it. But is it Black Panther? I'm even more excited, man. And this is just a dope film, man, coming out.
Hey, man, I am through the roof with excitement. Like, I feel like I've been saying it since 2017. It's going to be the first Black film that's been written, directed, and casted that will reach $1 billion. That's huge, and it's sad to say that this will be the first.
Yeah.
But like, that's tremendous in terms of what it will represent for young Black boys and girls that don't really have hero figures to look up to, but it can actually look on the screen and see something that represents and reflects who they are.
You can be an actor.
Not just an actor.
You can be anything you want to be.
Precisely. Just
you can do that.
Exactly. And so, man, I love seeing the cultural nuances that are being communicated through the film, and just to have something that is getting so much attention across the world, and the movie's not even out, I think is phenomenal. It's breaking records. It's already 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It'll be the first movie to sustain that if it does. It's already broken records for pre-sales. Like, it's on track to do over, I think, $170 million the first weekend.
And let me give you food for thought, bro. Like, I would love to see like a Marvel Asian character, a Marvel Spanish character that takes me into like what's that culture like? Let's go back to these roots. Like that, like, to me, like, I love people, man. Like, that's dope. Like, let's run with this.
Celebrate the specificity of a people's culture. So
love each other, man.
I will be going to see it tomorrow. I don't know about you. You'll probably see it a couple weeks from now. But My last note, though, did you hear about the Facebook group that got shut down? They created like an anti-Black Panther group because did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about that. Like that's
Okay.
sad, bro.
Right, like
you can't take that as anything but racist.
Right.
I'm sorry. I can't fathom a better thought in my mind of why.
Man. Well, anywho, we will still prevail. This movie will be an amazing experience.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see it
man.
once and twice, maybe 3 times. Maybe we'll go get to see it together.
Yes, sir.
But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man. I think that just wraps it for us today. Where can the people find you?
At the Ryan Hollins on Twitter, Ryan Hollins on Instagram and Facebook. I'm all over the airways right now.
Yeah, where can
Nacion.
people find you on the airways?
Man, I've been on Nacion ESPN, been doing ESPN 710, ESPN National, NBA Insiders, the Locker Room Show. We're coming on Saturdays. So, man, just check your boy out. Check out my social media pages for the latest updates and when you can see me. It's been a blessing.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you,
Hey,
brother.
man.
Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we will have you on very soon, man. And the people can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Akili Shine, AKILISHINE. As always, man, thank you for coming on the show.
man.
And man, let's go see this Black
Yes,
Panther.
sir.
Let's
Yes,
go right
sir.
now.
Let's get it. I'm there.
All right.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.